So today what I'm going to cover is right now, how to grow your practice. With or without a virus, there's certain things you can do to grow your firm. I'm going to go over that. Then I'm going to go into LinkedIn optimization, the best practices for LinkedIn, how to use LinkedIn to grow your firm and grow your practice, generate new partnerships, get new clients. Then how to stay profitable through networking, how to use networking, whether it's virtual, which is now, or in person, and then different approaches to growth. Every single person that attends this workshop can get a free PDF of my book on how to grow your firm using these things and other techniques. They're all in my book. You can just email me and I'll send you a free copy via a PDF. If you want it mailed to your office, send me your address. I'll mail you a hard copy. Okay. All right. So this slide here says I do a whole bunch of stuff. I'm quote unquote famous. She already read off that. So right here. So right now, and my approach is to cover a whole bunch of ideas, just bam, 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 bam. And then if you can take a couple of them and apply them, you're going to be able to grow your practice. And people in the chat are putting in some of the types of stuff they do. You know, Tan does financial planning. Courtney does estate planning. Reginald does arbitrator mediation. So people are putting in, and that also kind of helps me understand some stuff that I want to talk about. But right now, so this is a slide that I have in pretty much every presentation I've been doing for the last 12 months. And I spent a little bit of time on it because it's very important. Right now, there we go. Right now, what can you do? You can list out 10 things that you can control and focus on those. Focus on what you can control. You can also write out a list of 10 things you cannot control, set that aside. But you gotta focus on what you can control. And that's really important during these times when things change every day. Can you be at the office or not at the office? Can you meet with people in person, not in person? Can you Zoom meetings or this, that, or technology issues? Just list down 10 things you can control and focus on that. Next, consistency. This is very common with law firms, architects, engineers type firms, that your business goes up and down, up and down, up and down. And it's because you're not consistently having these meetings. And so I believe every single partner at a firm needs to have 3, if it's your own firm, definitely, but every partner in a firm has to have 3 lunch meetings, which are now like virtual meetings per month. So 3 times 12 is 36 meetings a year. So what you do is, I'll go into in a little bit, you put together a list of your top people that refer you business, that introduce you to people, your top people, whether it doesn't matter who they are, but people that you, by other attorneys, insurance agents, different people that you can talk to that give you ideas, that inspire you, that motivate you, but also they introduce you to people, you introduce them to people. You want to have 3 lunch meetings a month consistently. And by having 3 a month, 3 times 12, 36 meetings, you're not going to have this chart on the right where it goes up, down, up, down, up, down, where all of a sudden you have a whole bunch of work, and then you have no work, whole bunch of work, no work, whole bunch of work, no work. By being consistent, you can't do, well, I'll have lunch with a whole bunch of people, I need work, and then the next month, no, you have a whole bunch of work, no meetings. And then the next month, some meetings, next month. Even when you have a lot going on, you have to have these meetings. This is very important. So I believe every partner at a firm, if it's solo for sure, but I believe every partner, 3 meetings, every associate, 1 meeting. That's what I believe, a month. And they can be virtual, but it's just by talking to people. You're not selling, you're just talking to people. And by talking to people, it creates opportunities. Next is top of mind, sending out a monthly newsletter. You can use platforms like MailChimp or Constant Contact or Robly. There's a whole bunch of them out there, but by sending out a monthly newsletter once a month, you're staying top of mind. Do not focus on what's inside the newsletter. This is where people get confused. They spend all this time trying to make the email newsletter perfect. It doesn't matter what's in it because no one's going to read it, pretty much. What matters is who it's from, David Mitroff, the subject line, you are invited, or subject line, 5 things to avoid, or 5 things, whatever. That's what people see from David Mitroff, the subject line. Now, in it, you can, in the newsletter, you can say, here's the 5 things to avoid, or hey, here's a picture of something, or here's something exciting, or whatever. That's fine. Click send. The most important is send it out once a month. If you send it out, things happen. If you don't send it out, nothing happens. So sending it out, every single time I send out an email newsletter, somebody says, I was just thinking about you. They're lying because they were not just thinking about me. I mean, they could have, but no, the odds, I just sent an email newsletter, it caused them to think about it. The next is the event effect. I wrote another book called The Event Effect. It's on how to leverage events to grow brands. And if you want a PDF of that, I can send that to you as well. But the event effect is the idea that events, whether they're in person or virtual, work. Instead of selling, you're inviting. And so I'm going to go into this a little bit more in my talk, but on the high level, the event effect is the idea that every January, my grandmother would invite every single person she knew to her house. Every January, every single person come to her house. Even people she didn't like that much, she would invite them. Then after they left, my grandma would come to me and say, David, I'm so happy, so happy. I said, why is that, Grandma? She said, because all these people, whether they came to my party or not, I invited them. Well, it doesn't matter if they came, but I invited them. Whether they came or not, they owe me something for the rest of the year. And it's only January. So she'd do this big party, invite everybody, they all over for the rest of the year. So instead of selling, you're inviting. So again, focus on the 10 things you can control, number one. Number two, be consistent. Have 3 lunch meetings. Now they're virtual. You don't have to say, buy my stuff. It's just like, hey, this is what I'm doing. What are you doing? Having those. Staying top of mind, sending a monthly newsletter. Doesn't matter what's in it. Then the event effect, okay? And you can also email me. My email's everywhere. It's on the bottom of every slide. The event effect is doing virtual events or in-person events. It doesn't matter if people come or not. It's inviting people. All right, there we go. So finding relationships that will benefit your business. So this is the top 20 list. The top 20 list is the idea of you want to list out the top people that introduce you to other people. So if you're an estate planning attorney, which someone said, or real estate attorney, then maybe you want real estate agents, maybe you want mortgage brokers, maybe you want bank lenders, you want other attorneys that do other types of law. You want insurance companies, you want accountants, you want to find other people that you could introduce to people and they could introduce people to you. You want other lawyers. That's why you belong to the different bar associations or different things like that. You want a list of your top 20. Now, if you don't have 20, put 5, or just think back like this. Oh my gosh, there was someone that gave our firm a huge case, or gave me, it's solo, right? Gave me a huge case. I haven't talked to them in 2 years. Oh my gosh. So it's just sending them an email that says this. You can go on LinkedIn and send it, or send an email, and it literally says, from David Mitroff, checking in. And you say, this is the perfect time of the year to check in to see how you're doing. Yeah, don't forget past happy clients. That's true. Happy clients could refer you or introduce you to other people. That's true. But happy clients would also, Linda, that happy clients also, though, if you're at a huge, let's say you have a big client, I don't know, like a Chevron or something, they have all these different divisions. So have this division introduce you to another division. That's that kind of stuff. But the top 20 list is definitely, is not necessarily clients, it's strategic partners. But what you do is you send an email that says, from David Mitroff, checking in. This is the perfect time of the year to check in. I want to learn, I want to share a little bit about what I've been working on and learn more about what you've been working on. Let's have a call, or let's have a Zoom or something. Now, when is the perfect time of the year? It's always the perfect time of the year. So don't use it over and over with the same person, but that's what I do. I literally say, this is the perfect time of the year. Perfect time of the year, because it's summer, because it's winter, it's this. Or I send one during the holidays. Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Festivus time. I send an email that says something like, hey, I'm around during the holidays. It's kind of slow. Usually it's busy, but I'll just say it's kind of slow. You just got to say something like, hey, if you're around, I'm around. Let's jump on Zoom. Let's jump on a phone call. I just love to learn more about what you got going on. What are your thoughts for next year? Or it's early in the year. How's your year going so far? I'd love to learn what's working for you. So by sending those emails, you're interacting with people. It goes back and forth. Now some people stress like, oh, David, if I send 10 of those emails, I'm going to be slammed. No, that's not going to happen, because they're going to say, oh, I got to walk my dog, and I got to do this, and I got to do that. So send 10, and then just go back and forth until the meetings actually happen. But 3 a month, it makes a huge difference. This is the number one way. I don't care how small or big or new or old or whatever your firm is. This is the number one way to grow your firm. True. Okay. The next we move into is using LinkedIn to grow your brand. Well, that's the emphasis of this talk. Okay. So when lawyers do work across specialties, their firms can earn higher margins. Clients are more loyal, and individual lawyers are able to charge more for the work they do. So if you're a solo, I highly encourage you to partner with other attorneys where you share across each other. So then it's kind of like you have your own firm, I'm my own boss, but you have other people that you interact with and you help each other. Or if you're at a firm, definitely, I've seen tons of firms where I get hired to go in as a consultant, and I'm like, wait a second, this group over here is not working with this group over here. Let's crisscross, figure out how we can get these to share clients better, because they're already working with the firm. How can we get more out of that client? How can we help that client better? And like it says here, you can increase rates, you can increase pricing, they're more loyal. There's a whole bunch of other things. I've had tons of experiences where there's a lawyer at a firm that does something, another lawyer at a firm that does something, and this lawyer, when he or she meets with clients, doesn't bother to say, oh, by the way, there's another lawyer at our firm that does this. You have to cross sell. It's very important to cross sell at firms. Or if you're solo, cross sell with other law firms and partner. So this here, before I really get into LinkedIn, this is really important. What does this say? Stefan or Stephen, that's my brother's, Stephen. We do estate litigation. Opposing counsel that you get along with are a good source of new business. So estate litigation, opposing counsel that you get along with are a source of good business. That's true. We always get conflicted out though. Or so if you get conflicted out, then yeah, you can share it to other people. So this is great. Okay, so this is an important concept. When it comes to this kind of stuff, sending email newsletters, doing work or whatever, there's in the business and on the business. And this is where a poll is going to come up, and we can do a poll for a second here. But in the business is day-to-day tasks. So you're seeing they're just practicing law, doing stuff. So what percentage of the time are you doing day-to-day tasks? Like, whatever. That's not the question. The question is, what percent are you spending on the business? On is proactive, growing the business. So that's those lunch meetings, right? So the lunch meetings, getting out there, doing things, that's being proactive. That's growing the business. Versus day-to-day task is like practicing law, updating your website, writing blog articles, sending out an email newsletter. Sending out the email newsletter, like if you just send it, that's on the business. But if you're like spending a lot of time, employee of the month, that's in the business activities, and you're reacting to things. So what we want to do is, what percent are you spending on the business? So that's not necessarily hanging out on LinkedIn. That's on LinkedIn, actually messaging people and saying, hey, I think it would be great if we talk. On the business, going and doing a virtual presentation or in-person presentation when you can. On the business is not attending this. On the business is actually doing something that you learn in this. So what percentage of your time do you spend on growing your business? So 10%, 20%, 30%, or 50% or more?
Mm-hmm. About half of folks have voted. I'll give them a few more seconds and then I'll show the results. Let's see. All right, let's see. Share results. Can you see that, David?
Yeah, I can. So 10% was over 54%, 20% was 19%, 30% was 16%, and 11% was 50% or more. So this is not surprising, right? So we need to really increase this number, okay? Because now if you're a solo, I understand you got to do the work, but you got to figure out ways to understand that if you can outsource or certain parts of your business or there's certain day-to-day activities that you're doing over and over and over. And it's repetitive stuff you're doing over and over and over. It could be answering the phone. You're like, no, but David, I have to answer the phone, because if I don't answer the phone, how can we get new business? No, but what percent of the phone calls are coming in are junk? Well, that's true. Okay, well, so if someone answers the phone and they answer and it hangs up, it comes in some other language trying to sell you, or DMV, or fake government, or fake, we'll make you number one on Google, and you're getting 10 of those a day, or how many of those you're getting a day? Someone else answers the phone, and then when they say, hi, I have a legal thing, hold on 1 second, bam, they transfer you to you. That just saved you from getting those 10 dumb calls a day, okay? So make a list of, Linda says, make a list of what you love and a list of what you hate, and then outsource what you hate. I agree 100%, Linda. That is very true. And so what I do is I hire people that love to do things I hate. They're so excited about it. I'm like, there's something wrong with you that you love doing stuff that I hate. And those people are the best workers I've ever had in my entire life, because they love doing what I hate doing. Now they have to get along with me, have to like bald people, and other stuff, but they love doing what I hate. I'm so happy. And they're so happy. So really it's write down the things that you don't, like Linda said, what you love versus what you hate, but also write down things you're doing over and over and over. So the phones is a good example. There's maybe some photocopying, staple, whatever. There's certain things. Just set it up and either get an admin or outsource stuff. Okay. Okay, and we can talk more about that later. So LinkedIn is the world's largest professional network. Gazillions of people hang out on there. I don't have to convince you of that. So there's some key things that we want to do on our LinkedIn profile that are going to make it way easier for us to get more business and way easier for people to find us. So the first one is the custom URL. So that's across the top where it says linkedin.com/in/. So it's linkedin.com/in/David Mitroff. So linkedin.com/in/David Mitroff. That's mine. Some people have linkedin.com/in/123 = public profile. Help me, I need my mommy. ... Something like that. You want to change for free. You go to the there's a little icon with your picture and it says me actually. You click it and it drops down. And it says view public settings, and you change it to the URL and you change it to be your name or change it to something like that. And then now you have a short link. It's much easier to share. You can put it on your website, put it different places, put it in the bottom of your email signature. That's what you want. So you want a custom URL. And especially nowadays with all the Zoom meetings, it's much easier to share your LinkedIn with everybody, okay? Number 2 is the title story. The title story is right under your name. And yes, you can say you're an intern or associate or partner at firm ABC, okay? That's fine, but I like adding a little bit of texture, at comma this. So that's where some of the people said, what do they say? Like, let's see, Ellison said, transactional real estate attorney, leases, easements, purchases, sales agreements, title issues. So Ellison could say, I'm a real estate attorney at firm ABC. I would prefer, you can have that, that's fine, but and then put, specialist in lease negotiations or easement or whatever, stuff like that. Or the person, Tan said financial planning. Right, financial planner, whatever. But then there's millions of attorneys, millions of insurance, millions of financial advisors, financial planners. So add some texture. And by adding some texture, people want to connect with you. That's my experience, okay? So add texture. Now, you want to be smart about what you add, because if you're, I'm not an attorney, so I can't say attorney. I'm not an airplane pilot, can't say that. But I can say I'm a food critic. Why? Because I write reviews on Yelp. Or I can say I'm a super connector, whatever the heck that means. That means I connect a lot of people. I could so by putting certain things, it's fun. It makes people go, oh, okay, this person seems nice, and I want to connect with them. And it works. So add a little bit of texture to your title and experiment, see what happens. And I did a TED Talk about how I became a stand-up comic. And that was all around, I did a workshop in Pleasant Hill, California, Pleasant Hill. And these 2 old guys came up and said, you're really funny, you should be a stand-up comic. And I was like, whatever. And then I put it on LinkedIn, stand-up comic. And then it led to this whole series of events that is hard to comprehend. And that's my TED Talk. It's only 13 minutes. I encourage you to watch it. And thumbs up, Okay, websites. Put your websites, your personal website, your business website, put them and they'll link. So now LinkedIn is linking to your websites. That's good for search engine optimization. It boosts everything up. You want keywords and key phrases. Oh, the summary. So the summary is that there's the about section. It says about. They say David Mitroff is this. You can talk in third person or first person. But in that paragraph, there's more than a paragraph. There's like 4 paragraphs. You want to have as many keywords and key phrases as possible because all of that is fully searchable. So if you worked with automobile companies or insurance companies or worked in certain courts or did certain things, list them all out in there. Say, we work with all kinds of clients such as this, or in the real estate, Ellison said, I do this kind of, blah, 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 blah. List all that out because it's fully searchable in both Google and in LinkedIn. And when people search on LinkedIn, you'll show up. LION, L-I-O-N, is LinkedIn Open Network. It means people are open to connecting. And you can do a search on LinkedIn. You'll find people that L-I-O-N. They're like, oh yeah, I'm open to connecting anyway. Privacy settings. Make sure your privacy settings are set where people can see your picture. Because you're good looking. So you want people to see that. And then you want people to, you want the settings where your title's on, your job's on. You want it so that it's easy. If not, you're hidden. They're like, why would I connect to that person? So that is an approach to using LinkedIn overall for personal profile. Now, for individuals, for all of you pretty much, you can have a company profile. So the company profile literally has the same stuff. It's just that it's from the company point of view. So on David Mitroff, I say David Mitroff, does this, this. He's the founder of Piedmont Avenue Consulting. And then on my company page, I say Piedmont Avenue Consulting does this, this. Now, this is how, when you upload, it's free. The way you find it is go to Google, put LinkedIn company profile. And when you put in LinkedIn company profile, bam, it'll pop up. To find it inside LinkedIn is not that easy. So it's easier to just Google it, LinkedIn company profile. Now, the LinkedIn company profile also has keywords, key phrases, and it really works. It shows up. And the logo, you add the logo here, that's how the logo shows up on your link on your personal LinkedIn. All right. There's a whole bunch of other stuff you can do with the company one, but you don't need to pay for either of these. You can do these for free. All right. So create your own personal LinkedIn as well as your company page. That's what I just said. And then stay connected with people. Invite people to connect with you. Put things, like keep posting things on LinkedIn and stay up to date on LinkedIn. So if you volunteer somewhere, add that as a volunteer thing. Do different things on LinkedIn. If you have any questions about anything I just said, you can put in the chat. I'm more than happy to answer it. And I'll keep going. So how to stay profitable through networking. All right. So the law firm website, with or without LinkedIn, you have to have the law firm website. Why? Because from LinkedIn, you're going to pretty much, you can send messages. I can walk through how to do that. You're going to say, you are invited to attend a workshop or an event. I sent that this week to over 400 attorneys on LinkedIn. I say, hey, I'm doing this workshop with CEB. You should go to it. Check it out. I hope you came. And I bet there's people on here right now that came because I sent you a message on LinkedIn and say, hey, you should come. It's a free event. It's great. But then guess what? People are going to look at your website. What, you don't have one? Well, if you don't have a website, you don't have a business. You got to have a website. So if you don't have one, create one on Wix, Wix.com, Squarespace, or WordPress. You got Wix, Wix.com, Squarespace, or WordPress. You are going very fast. Don't slow down. But can you get the slides for a deeper dive? Yes, Reginald. 100%. I go fast. And yes, this is being recorded. Plus, you get a copy of the slides. Plus, I will email you a PDF copy of my book. That's about 250 pages that literally goes through this entire thing too. So you'll have my book, the slides, and a recording of this. Plus, if you want to schedule a free call with me, I'll have a free call with any single person on here. I'll have a free call with anybody, and especially lawyers. I love lawyers because I work with a whole bunch of them, and I can say, oh, based on what you just said, you should try this. That's what the other firm I work with does, and they're like, oh, really? So that's, yeah, for free. I'll do a free consultation for anybody. So you get a free PDF of my book, free consultation, and you get a free copy of these slides. So, you just email me, or go to my website, piedmontav.com, and you can schedule a call. And if you don't find time that you don't want, just email me. Hey, David, I want to talk to you. And no problem. One of my employees will respond back and schedule a call with you. So law firm website. Without a website, no business. You got to have a website. And the website, at least one page. That's very straightforward. And yes, Kelly said, yes, the slides will be emailed to you after the webinars. There we go. Thanks. So then you have a one-page website, very straightforward, very simple. On that website, you want to emphasize where you're located. I can't tell you how many times it's in the footer, it says, this is this, Piedmont Avenue, Oakland or something, right? But in the actual body of the website, you don't say anywhere, like what city are you in? So you need to actually say, we are a Long Beach estate planning law firm. Why? Because if someone goes to Google, they're going to put in Long Beach estate planning law firm, and you don't actually say that. I can't believe how many law firms, or whether it's attorney, solos, or firms, go to their website and like, you don't actually say that you're a law firm on here. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, you have the name, the logo and stuff, but you actually don't. Nowhere on the site does it say you do. You say you could say we're professionals, we're estate planning attorneys, but you don't actually say law firm, Long Beach law firm on your actual website. It's true. So you want to have a paragraph that says who you are, what you do, what city, what services you offer. So it's search engine optimization language, SEO. So the keywords, key phrases that people would actually search. Then when people do call, ask, well, what did you search? About 10 years ago, I used to ask people, how did you find me? And they say, oh, Google. And I said, well, what did you search? And they go, none of your business. Nowadays, everybody's like, I said, what do you search? Oh, let me tell you. Sometimes they're like, hold on. I'm like, what you hold on? And they're like, oh, I searched this. I put law firm near me. Or I put this, or I did this and I did that. And it took me to Yelp. I saw your review and I did, wow, okay, thanks. So, but you need that information. It really helps. You can write blog posts or pages. So for what I'd say is, in general, if you're an attorney, a solo attorney, there's three main things you do. And if you're a firm, there's still three main things that the firm does. And within each practice area, there's three main things. So what are those three main things? So, for my companies, brand awareness, customer retention, customer loyalty, and lead generation. So brand awareness, customer loyalty, lead generation. So I write content about those three things. If it was the YMCA, it's mind, body, spirit. And so I worked with them they have 12 locations in the Bay Area. I help them. You need to write an article a month on mind, body, and spirit, or might get brand awareness, customer loyalty, lead generation. Why? Because those are the three main things you do. You need to write articles and create content. And if you write 3 a month, it's just like those three meetings a month, 3 times 12 is 36. If you write 3 blog articles a month, one on this, one on this, one on that, 3 times, you end up with 36 articles, 36 more pages on your website a year. Okay. 36 more posts. All right. Okay. So what do I write about? You can invite people to events. I'll talk about that a little bit more. Inviting people to events is no brainer. Why? Because whether they show up or not, you invited them, just like my grandma invites people. Okay. Download an ebook. You give me your email, or you email me right now, or you go to my website, schedule a call. I'll send you a PDF copy of my book. Support a cause or a charity. Hints and tips, especially the real estate stuff or estate planning. It's like, or all kinds of litigation. It's like, wait, so when do I do this? When do I do that? When do I, okay. Great question. If I can get your email, I can send you my top 10 tips or best practices for that. Or people Google that. What do I need to do? And they find your page and it says, these are the top 10 things to avoid or whatever. Let's see what we got here. So focus on different verticals or projects. I typically, when it comes to search engine optimization or showing up on LinkedIn, showing up on Google, showing up on Yelp, showing up on your website, I tend to focus on cities and topics. Okay, so what cities are you in? Long Beach? No. Long Beach also includes Seal Beach, Naples, Bellflower, whatever. What cities? Okay, number one. Number two is what topics. So real estate, lease negotiate, whatever. So then those cities and topics, those you need to say those on your Yelp, on your lawyers.com, on your FindLaw, on your Martindale Hubble, on your website, on your LinkedIn, in your summary, in your job descriptions on LinkedIn. You need to say those cities and topics over and over and over and over and over and over. Why? Because if you say it once, you got to say the same thing on every single platform. So if you have your company paragraph on your website, then you have it on LinkedIn under David Mitroff. He works at, and this on the company on LinkedIn, on Yelp, on Lawyers, on FindLaw, on Martindale. You have Super Lawyer, same thing over and over and over and over. You'll go to Google and you'll Google, Palo Alto IP attorney, and you'll show up because you said it over and over and over without paying. Okay. All right. So let's see what we got. The next thing is you have to have a call to action. So my call to action, I don't care if you go to my website, you go to my LinkedIn. It actually says it, my LinkedIn right here. It says schedule a call right now, or just call me right now. So my website, every single page all over it. The LinkedIn, LinkedIn, website, Yelp, anywhere you go on the internet, it says schedule a free call. I want you to schedule a free call. That's what's, and it's not just schedule a free call. You click it, it allows them to book a call, book a time. Now, as attorneys, you do have to have your disclaimer, right? Disclaimer, like I didn't have a disclaimer in the beginning of this. By the way, every single thing I'm saying right now, it's not true. Every single thing I'm not responsible for anything. That's my disclaimer. Okay. So, what I'm saying is you have to have a disclaimer where they click a button and says, just because you're filling this out doesn't mean you're my client, that kind of thing. But make it as easy as possible for people to buy your stuff. But you're not selling because you're lawyers, not a lot of sell, but make it as easy as possible for people to be able to hire Okay. Now here's the trick. Number one, someone needs a lawyer to help them with something. They show up to your house. Well, they're a stalker, but yes, they're really serious about hiring you. Okay, so that's kind of weird, but okay. So they show up at your house. You don't want that. Next one, they pick up the phone and they call. They say, I need to hire you right now. That's a serious person. Next, they go to your website and they schedule a time to talk to you. This is very important. I love these tools. Calendly, there's a Bceda, Cogsworth, Bceda, Calendly. I like those three tools a lot. I use them all because you click, bam, it allows them to book a time. So they're like, I got to talk to a lawyer. I got to talk to a lawyer. Oh my gosh, they go to your website. Oh, but it's kind of late at night. I don't know. Schedule, bam, click it. And they schedule time for tomorrow at this time or next week at this time. They stop looking. They stop looking for other attorneys. That's my experience because they did what they had to do. Trust me. It was like, oh, I did what I was supposed to do. I found an attorney that looks really good. Okay, so number one, show up to your house. You don't want that. Number two, they call. Number three, they schedule a call, like a schedule call, tool like Calendly or whatever. Number four, they email you. Number five, they fill out your website form that they know that you're not going to get back to them on. Because psychologists, the research shows that 80% of psychologists do not return. Someone fills out a form, I need help. 80% don't get back to them. Are you kidding? It's true. So it's like most people know if I fill out a form, I don't know if you're even going to get back to me. And then after that, it's time for an email newsletter. So why then, if the form is so low, why do most businesses say, oh, go fill out our form? And it's like on everywhere on the website it says, oh, contact us. You click that, bam, it takes them to the contacts page. And on the contact page, there's a form. And the form says, yeah, don't really bother filling this out. And then, that kind of thing. Oh, we'll get back to you in 48 hours. We'll get back to you when we feel like it or whatever. Or you never do. So I don't like that. So you can have a form if you want, but right above it, say, call us now at, and put your phone number. Call us now at, or fill out the form below. So if you tell people call us now, you'll be, just put that above your form. You'll be surprised how many people actually call. If you want your questions answered, call us now at, or fill out the form below, and people just start calling. Then throughout your website, I know this is silly, but throughout your website, you literally have to say, and LinkedIn, and Yelp, and lawyers, and marketing. You need to tell people to call you, and they will, or schedule a call. I know I'm harping on this, but this is something I see that is lacking everywhere. And then people say, but David, I don't want people to call me. I got work to do. It's like, okay, so, or if too many people call, I'll have too much work. Well, that's a great problem to have. Then raise your prices or introduce them to other people, or narrow down what you do, or do the jobs you want to do. Okay, stuff like that. All right. So here is some examples on mobile device, schedule a free consultation, book an appointment, things like that. Okay. Again, with law, when they click the thing, you say, hey, well, you're not my client, that kind of stuff. But you can schedule a call and I'll talk to you. All right. So events, like I was talking about earlier, the event effect, I wrote the book on that, is events reinforce your brand. Events are huge for lead generation. Events create better relationships. Events are awesome for collaboration. Like CEB and I, we've done a lot of these events together. I love doing these events with them. They're a lot of fun, and we both promote it, and it's a win-win for both of us. And letting your audience know what's going on. Okay, so choice one. On LinkedIn, I send you a message that says, hey, here's the latest white paper, or here's the latest thing I wrote on this, or buy my stuff. Or I send you a message on LinkedIn that says, I'd like to invite you to an event I'm having. Not an event where I'm going to sell you, but just an event on ABC. I connect with a whole bunch of people that are, what's a good example? I do a whole talk on how I use LinkedIn to get on private yachts. Okay. Now I'm using LinkedIn to get on private jets. So if anyone owns a private jet, let me know. Or if any clients own a private jet, I want to get on it. This is true. So private yachts. What I do is I went on LinkedIn, and you can do it on the phone easier. I just do it while I watch TV, connect, and I just go on LinkedIn. I do a search, for people that are, I say yacht dealers, yacht brokers. I put in different brands, stuff like that. I just click search, and all I do is I just start connecting. I don't send them a message, and I don't say thanks for connecting or connect with me so you can buy my stuff. No, I don't harass. I just connect. And what I do is you can do it to about 200, 300 people at a time. You just go without putting email. Now, if you're over the limit, like me, I have gazillions of people, I have to wait for you to invite me because I'm at like 24,000, whatever, something. So, but if you do it, you just connect. And what happens is I'm gonna literally 200, I'll pick 300 yacht broker, yacht dealer, yacht captain, yacht this, yacht that, yacht, broker, click, connect. And I just wait. I wait a day or two, and then you'll go into connections, most recently added. And you'll see that you have at least 50 that are in the San Francisco Bay Area or in Long Beach or wherever you are, so there's at least 50 out of the 250 that accept it. And what happens is those 50 are all related to, in the yacht industry, yacht brokers, yacht dealers, yacht this. Now, if you go and do it again, you're going to get even higher percentage. Why? Because they're going to all say, wait a second, David's connected to that yacht person. Yeah, dude, this guy knows a lot of yacht people. And then what I do is on my background on LinkedIn, right now I have a private jet, a G6, before I had a big yacht up there. People are like, wow, even his background's a yacht. Wow, he knows a lot. I don't know who this guy, well, I'll connect to him. And then next thing you know, you connect to all these people. Now, in your summary, in the summary about David, I have, David Mitroff's looking for more, consulting stuff, and here's my phone number, schedule call. Then I go into seeking board member roles, keynote talks, because I love doing talks like this at conferences and events, and free private jet rides. They're like, who is this guy? And they're like, he wants free, so it's like it triggers their mind. They see the jet, it works. It works. I did this, and I ended up getting hired by one of the largest yacht dealer in Northern California. And I got paid as a consultant to help them sell yachts. Well, to help them sell that, so I had to go on. I went over like 60 of these things. I went all over the place. And then they taught me to be like a captain and stuff. So I got paid, and I got to go on yachts all the time for 2 years for free. So, and on LinkedIn, I have the thing about private jets. I've been doing that now about a year or so, because I'm not aggressive about it. I'm not on it, and I've had 3 people, yacht dealer, private jet dealer, a broker, whatever, call me, and I talk to them a little bit. They haven't hired me yet, but it's like, that's the process. Now, I'm doing it for yachts and private jets. This is kind of, ridiculous, but it works. Well, I'm saying you could do this to get it for your industry, and it works. Now, instead of saying, would you like to buy my stuff? You invite them to events. Okay. And by sending them an email, inviting them to events, they feel good. So I invite the yacht broker people to events. I invite them and say, hey, there's this event I'm doing on this, come as my guest. I have a happy hour. I normally have happy hours in person at the W Hotel in San Francisco for like the last 3.5 years. Every single month, 60 people come and network. And then I did Beverly Hills SLS, I did Seattle, I did Portland, the Nines Hotel. So I invite people to these happy hours. People come. I charge like, let's say $20, but I invite a lot of people for free. It doesn't matter. It doesn't cost me anything. The W, likes me, and I bring them a lot of people. So the idea is do events. Now you're going to say, David, I can't do events. Why are we talking about events? I'm stressed. When it's an in-person event, it's a real event in person. Oh yeah, who's going to be there? What's the theme? Do I have to pay for this and pay for that? What's my budget? And what am I going to do? How do I check people in? I have a book on that and how to do that. I can walk you through that, but that's not what I'm talking about. And you want to probably do eventually in-person events. But that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is virtual events. You can have events where you do office hours. So next Thursday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., you are invited to have hot chocolate. I don't drink coffee, too much energy, obviously. Have hot chocolate with me. You buy your own coffee, and I'll answer questions about this or that. So estate planning. I'm available next Thursday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. to answer any questions about estate planning. And I put that on Eventbrite, Eventbrite. I put that on, I put it on different social media, LinkedIn, say, hey, I'm doing office hours to answer questions about Prop 19, about Prop 13, about this, about that, very specific things. And maybe no one comes, but that's okay. You invited them through LinkedIn, through email, through social media to come and have their questions answered about X. And that people go, whoa, David knows about X. It leads to opportunities. So I do this. I'll be like, if I'm flying around in different cities, I'll say, oh, I'm going to be at this place for breakfast. Hey, if you want to come and have breakfast with me, you buy your own, you come and have breakfast with me. And sometimes people show up, sometimes they don't. And you can filter it out where they had to have signed up 24 hours in advance. So it's not a surprise. All right. So these are some examples, like how to write your own book in 30 days or less. That's a top idea. Or how to grow your business online, right? And so whether you show up or not, whether they're paid or free, it doesn't matter. It's just inviting people. It works. Okay. So hopefully I'm giving you some ideas. Office hours. Let's see. Yeah. Conduct a presentation. You could actually do a presentation like I'm doing right now, or you could guide people through like a happy hour type thing. Which I actually have a happy hour tomorrow, actually, my own Piedmont, because only happy hour is free. If you want to come, you can come. And then open discussion, expert panel. So you don't even have to say anything. Hey, I brought some experts on this and this. Now, lawyers, you're not allowed to be experts, but you invite other people that are experts. Or like I said, office hours. And I find inviting people to events works really, really well. Okay. All right. So there's approaches to growth. There's traditional growth and engagement growth. So traditional selling, traditional marketing, engagement marketing. There's two different approaches. And you want to do traditional is, I'm only looking for people that are going to buy my stuff. Engagement marketing is, I'm open to connect with anybody that seems nice. And by connecting with more people, it casts a wider net. So my approach on LinkedIn is connect with as many people as possible, with the idea that if I connect with people that I like and they like me, it's going to lead to them introducing me to other people. Okay, so there's different approaches. Social media really enforces engagement marketing. The idea of connecting as many people as possible, it creates more opportunities. So team up with colleagues from other practices, okay, to grow your firm. Like I said earlier, if you're a solo or just a few of you, team up with another firm that does complementary stuff, and then you can introduce each other to people. This is from Harvard. It tells you that there's two different lawyers. They started their firm at the same time. One lawyer has a few connections, other lawyer has tons of connections. And the lawyer with tons of connections on social media, LinkedIn, platforms like that, had 4 times more business. Okay. And the reason is because through those connections, without even saying buy my stuff, you're just connecting, telling people what you're doing, it leads to more opportunities. That's why you need to have those 3 lunch meetings or virtual meetings a month. All right. Competency, build trust. I mean, it takes time, but that's why you got to reach out to people and check in with people. All right, so we're almost winding down, but this is a slide that I like to highlight. This slide has a lot going on it, but this slide brings everything we just talked about together. So there's active marketing, which is during the day, active marketing while you're awake, AM. Passive marketing, PM, while you're asleep. Passive marketing, active marketing. Active marketing is all the stuff that you're out there doing on your business, growing your business. Remember, 10% is so low. Cold calling, yes, it still works. You can do warm calling, like, hey, I work with the department over here. I wondered if you need a lawyer as well. Now you're not allowed to sell, so it's kind of like you have to figure out how to talk to them the right way. But cold calling does work. Direct mail, sending out. It depends on your industry, depends who you work with, depends on the data. But direct mail does work. Events, hosting events, like I said, inviting people to come to events. You're not selling, you're inviting. Strategic partnerships, other firms, other agencies. I will build relationship, no cold calling. There you go. Linda said that. Yeah, so no cold calling. But here's the thing. I would argue that it gets kind of weird where you had a client, not a client. You had a referral partner. They kept giving you a whole bunch of, like, real estate is a good example. You had a real estate agent that kept giving you a whole, oh man, we need another contract looked at. We need another contract looked at. And then something happens, you stop talking to them. You're like, oh my gosh, it's been like 2-3 years since I talked to that person. This is horrible. So you just got to pick up the phone and call them. And that to me is almost like cold calling. Or you're calling and say, is there anybody else you think I should talk to? You're not like, they're not your client, they're referral partners. And so you're calling, say, hey, Jimmy and I, we do a lot of stuff together. He mentioned that I should probably talk to you, so I want to give you a call. What do you think? Referral partners, okay? Strategic partners, okay? It's talks. That's what I'm doing that right now. Give talks, invite people to talks. Go, educate people. Referral versus introduction. This is very important. So referral is the idea that I, David, am going to refer you to somebody. If I'm going to refer you, it's like, oh, wait, hold on. Do I know you that well? How much do you charge? Can I read all your materials? If I refer you to somebody, are you going to make me look bad? That's a referral. Introduction is, we just met. I like you. You like me? Yeah. I work with a lot of lawyers. Do you know? Yeah, I know some lawyers. Can you introduce me? Yeah, sure, I'll introduce you. And then literally emails. I just met this guy, David, at this happy hour. He's kind of cool. He says he works with a lot of lawyers. You're a lawyer. I thought you guys should talk. There you go. Have fun. Introductions. So instead of asking for referrals, ask for introductions, and you will get more leads. You will get more business meetings. You will get more strategic partners. Ask for introductions. Is there anyone, this is the number one way to end any meeting, whether it's definitely with strategic, your top 20 list, the number one way to end a meeting is there anyone else that you think that I might want to talk to? I really enjoy talking to you. I really like working with you. I really like how we refer each other business. Is there anyone else that you think would benefit by talking to me? Is there anyone else that you think you can introduce me to that makes sense? And you just end every call. And I always ask, is there anyone else that you think that I should talk to? Or is there anyone else you think would benefit by talking to me? Or is there anyone I can introduce you to? Well, you know what? That's a good, and then bam, then they introduce, and that leads to this. Then you get the next person, you ask them, the next person, you ask them. And I have had so many things happen from that. When it comes to quote unquote selling, by the way, your number one job is not to get people to give you money. Number one job, no, your number one job is to get the next meeting. If you like somebody, it's just like dating. If you like the person, the number one job is to get the next date. Okay, number one job is to get the next meeting. Okay, that's it's not get money, sell them, close the deal, get them to sign. Your number one job is get the next meeting. Just focus on that. Get the next meeting. So if it's a strategic partner, if it's a client, it's whatever it is, your job is get the next meeting. So get the next meeting on the calendar. That's your job. Okay. Email marketing, extremely effective. It's the lowest cost marketing there is. Return on investment, ROI for email marketing is very cheap. You know, MailChimp, it costs nothing for the first 2,000 contacts. MailChimp. Then you move into Constant Contact and Robly, and MailChimp. Once you're around 2,000, they're all the same price, around $40 a month, 40 to 60. So for $40 a month, you're sending 2,000 emails out saying, I would like to invite you to an event, or hey, let you know about this going on or that going on. You're not selling, you're not harassing, and by emailing, it's most cost effective. So that's active marketing. Then you have passive marketing, which is your website. Yes, you can add content and stuff, but your website sits there. Now have calls to action like we talked about, magazine ads, super lawyer, other things. There's more passive, but it's there. It builds credibility. Social media though is both. That's the crazy part. Social media, LinkedIn is both. LinkedIn is active and passive. You've seen it where you post something on LinkedIn or you write an article on LinkedIn or you put things on LinkedIn today. That's active. It's happening right now. 6 months from now, 2 weeks, even 2 weeks now, it pops up again. People see it. Oh, and so it's active and passive. That's why if used correctly, LinkedIn and other social media platforms are huge because they're both active and passive. Don't delete stuff. If you make an event live and then you promote the event on LinkedIn and other platforms, don't go in and delete all that. You put an event on here's upcoming events, put it on your website, don't delete it, leave it there. It's active and it's passive. All right. Now, all of these activities need to lead to something. So if you go look, my direct mail materials, because I mail copies of my book out to lawyers, events, strategic partners, talks, referral, my website, every magazine thing, everything, social media, schedule a free call. That no joke. Everywhere I go, it's like, that's my thing. Then based on the phone call, we do a face-to-face meeting. Now, face-to-face meeting can be Zoom or whatever, but you go from a phone call, clarify, does it make sense? Then move into a face-to-face meeting. And that's for every single attorney on here. You pretty much want. Now, if you're a restaurant, it's different. Restaurant, you want people to make a reservation. You want people to come in. You want people to do that. Place an order. For us, professional service providers, it's scheduling the free call. That's what we want. We want the free call. You're like, but David, I don't want to talk to people. Then somebody's got to talk to them because that's how you grow your firm. Okay. So everyone on here, you can schedule a free call with me. You can email me, David at Piedmont Ave. You go to my website, piedmontave.com, and you can book it. Or you can go to my website, call my office. One of my employees will pick up right now and they'll book it for you. All right. So what I covered was how to use LinkedIn to find new potential partnerships or yachts or private jets. I also talk about how to interact with people on there and form strategic partnerships. How about the call to action? Extremely important, whether it's on LinkedIn in your summary, whether it's on your website, anywhere. I talked about connecting through remote events and the benefits of partnering with other people and connecting with people and doing events together, and also just inviting people to events. I talked about how to identify potential partner relationships, the idea of If you do this kind of law, find other people that do this. And then I talked about traditional versus engagement. Traditional, definitely, you don't want to spend, you want to connect with as many people as possible. And then, of course, drill down. Well, these are the people that actually are our ideal fit as a client. These are the people that are the area of law that I specialize in that I can help. And then these other ones, I'll introduce them to other people. They'll introduce people to me, stuff like that. So I think, let's see. So this is the Law Firm Business Growth Strategies book. Everyone on here can get a free PDF of that. If you email me or schedule a call or just whatever. And then also you'll get a copy of these slides. I also have your contact information. I'll send a thank you email. And then if you can always respond back to that as well. And I'll send you a PDF of this book. I have other books too. I have my Law Firm Business Growth Strategies book. That's I have the Law Firm Business Growth Strategies book. I have just a general book for regular businesses. And then I have my event book, the Event Effect book. And I'm more than happy to send PDFs of any of those to people. I think I covered everything that I wanted to cover and more. So I know I covered a lot fast. This is recorded. You can watch it over and over and over. If you want to talk to me, I'm more than happy to talk to you and say what I said or say different things. So if people have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer those if you put them in the chat. And I really, really appreciate the opportunity to work with CEB. I really like my relationship with CEB, and I look forward to doing more together.
Yes, we love having you. And again, like you said, feel free to drop some questions in the chat, or if you have more in-depth questions, you can email him directly at the address listed at the bottom of his slide. But yeah, if there are no questions right now, I definitely want to thank you as well, David. You always give us some really, someone has a question. Says, who can I outsource this? Mm-hmm.
Well, go ahead. Yeah. So Danielle, thank you. Noel, thank you. And Linda said, who can I outsource this to do it for me? Yeah. Okay. So there's a couple of things. When it comes to outsourcing, there's different levels. So one level is you come up with a strategy, or I help you come up with a strategy, or somebody helps you come up with a strategy. And then of the strategy, what part is Linda going to do, and what part can someone else do to prepare Linda so Linda does the part Linda does? And so there's different outsourcing. So a couple options. So one option is you talk about graphic design or updating content or writing blog articles or whatever it is. You can go to Fiverr, F-I-V, I'll put it in the chat, Fiverr.com. You can go to Fiverr.com. Okay, that's one way to. Now, the other is you can go to Upwork. Okay, and Upwork is a little bit more. So that would be like somebody that you want on an ongoing basis for a project. Okay, so you have Fiverr and you have Upwork. Next, you can do is you can, I can walk you through how I outsource. I have people that work for me, or I train other people at the firm to do it. Or if it's just you, I help you hire an admin. Or you can, especially today with virtual, you can have people different here locally in the US or in other countries. Or it's all about figuring out what are the key parts that you don't want to do, or that if you do less of that, you have more time to grow the firm. That's what it comes down to. That's where it doesn't make sense to hire a legal assistant or a paralegal, or does it, all that kind of stuff. And so that's where I'm more happy to talk to you, and I can give you some feedback and ideas. And my company, and I can recommend other companies that do a lot of these things too. Depends on what you're looking for. Upwork is depends. It can be expensive, but it can. On Upwork, if you just search by US, yeah, people like $70 an hour, $100 an hour, whatever. You're like, what? But if you search, you can find people in other countries for $3, $4 an hour. It depends. That for them, that's a lot of money. So it just depends on what types of activities you're looking for people to do. So I'm more than happy to walk you through how I've used those platforms and others, and how I outsource and how I set up things. The most important thing when you have other people do stuff for you is to have an operations binder where it's written out. So what I do is something that I do over and over and over. I say, you know what, this is something I do over and over and over. I want you to start doing it. So I tell them, and they start writing it down. And then we do videos. So they have videos and they have it written out. And by having videos and written out, you have it. So now if the next person comes, they can read. Let's see. In your experience with lawyers, how reliable are virtual assistants in terms of confidentiality, protection of information? My experience is if you hire the right people, they're extremely reliable, extremely confidential. It depends on the type of law the types of stuff you give them access to, the type of laws you're doing. We have to look at. There's regulations and rules, and you have to be confidential and be careful. There's if you're dealing with healthcare stuff, there's HIPAA laws, there's all kinds of stuff. So we have to be very smart and careful as to what you outsource and what you don't outsource. It's just like hiring a legal assistant or hiring someone to work in your office. They have access to stuff. You have to make sure that they're a good person that's a right fit. But again, no joke, I would argue 20% or more, but let's just all be easy. 20% of what every single person, including myself, is doing, it could be done by somebody else. It really could be. And you go, no, I have to do it. If you have somebody else do the first pass at a legal brief or something like that, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's easier for you to do it because they took the first pass at it. Yes, you can nitpick and find all things wrong with it, but if it saved you 30 minutes or saved you an hour or saved you whatever, that hour could be spent on getting more business, or that hour could be spent on this or that. And those are the things. It's like answering the phones, handling emails, just do basics, updating website. There's certain things that you have to do the math, and I can help you do the math, and you have to calculate. And also you have to figure out sometimes it's like you spend so much, all of us, we spend so much time avoiding something, or so much time doing this, or so much time doing that. It takes 10 hours to do something that somebody that knows how to do it, they can do it in 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Like, for example, when I publish my books, I can do the editing of my books. I can do the formatting of my books. I can do I can do it. I can figure it out. I'm smart. But it's like, wait a second, I can go on Fiverr and pay someone $60. And they do formatting of books all day long. That's what they do. It's $60. Yeah, but I can do it myself for free. Yeah, but it's $60. And it's going to probably take me several days, a whole bunch. Then just paying $60, have them do it. Then it's done, and then I can be more efficient. So those are things I look at. But I'm more happy to talk to you more about that kind of stuff. Any other questions about anything?
Looks like there's one more from Reginald, who asked, what's your recommended strategy if you work out of multiple offices around the country?
What is my recommended strategy? Okay, so if you work on multiple offices, so when you have multiple locations, then you need on your website that one website, but on that website you need landing pages or city pages that talk about every city that you have, the different things that you do in those cities, highlight those cities so that talk about what's unique about those cities, talk about some of the courthouses or the lay of the land in those cities so that you show up, number one. Number two, you need a Yelp, a Google, a Lawyers, a Martindale, you need for every single one of those locations, okay? And every single one of those locations, a Yelp, a Google, blah, blah, listing for every single location. You also need to understand for those cities, what people are searching. And are they searching, like I said, Long Beach estate planning attorney, San Francisco estate planning attorney, Portland estate planning attorney. So I've had a lot of experience where I help firms and all different kinds of clients expand from Southern California, Northern California, from Northern California to Southern California, from Central Valley, whatever. Then I've had from Walnut Creek to San Francisco, or from Bay Area, Southern California, Portland, Washington, Oregon, Nevada, Arizona. And then, one firm had two associates, flew them all over, and they took the bar in every single state. It was like, and they did it, no joke. They did I think they did, man, it was crazy. They did this like fly from here, take the bar, then 2 days later, fly from there, take the bar, 2 days later, fly here. And they because they're just in the bar, they're studying, and they're just bar. They just fly around, take all the tests. And they're smart guys. They passed them all. So then the firm was like, great, now we're licensed in all those places. So, so there's ways to do that, or you can partner with other offices, other firms that have offices, and you can do stuff like that. And then if you use their office, get your own Yelp, get your own Google for that same address, and you can do that. Let's see, what recommendations do you have for virtual offices? So when it comes to virtual offices, I've done a lot of work over the years. I did consulting work, and I did a whole bunch of other stuff with both Regus, R-E-G-U-S, Regus, and also WeWork. And I did several years for both of them. And Regus and WeWork, they attract different types of customers. Regus and WeWork, you can get offices for the day, you can get offices month to month, you can get stuff like that. And virtual offices work really well because sometimes you need to meet with people in person. So you get a Regus or a WeWork, and you meet with people there. That's one way to do it. The other is just, nowadays, right now, especially, it's like, yeah, everything's on Zoom. They're like, okay, they're kind of used to use a mobile notary. There's different ways to set it up, but if it's virtual, you still need a Yelp, you still need a Google, you still need a website, you still need those things. So on Yelp and Google in particular, you can put your home address, but then set it to private, so then it doesn't show the actual address. The other is you can get, like I say, you can get a Regis or WeWork, or there's other ones like you can Google virtual office space. You can get great addresses. You get one Melrose Place, or you can get different street addresses, and then if you go in, you pay as you go in. But virtual office, nothing wrong with that. Let's see. I think I covered most of the stuff. But yeah, multiple offices around the country well, just expansion is very important. Or even if you're solo, it's very important to partner with other firms, because you're going to get clients that have work in different markets, in different areas, different practice areas, and you want to be able to. For me, I want to be the number one resource. I want to be the person they call when they have a problem, and I connect them with people that can fix that problem. I don't have to fix all the problems. I mean, mother, I can't fix it. No, but that's the way it works. I can't fix everybody's problems, but if I can introduce them to other people that can, that's great. Is there a phone answering service? Danielle asked, is there a phone answering service you recommend for attorneys who have a virtual office? Okay, so there's several different ones out there. There's Ruby Receptionist, right? Ruby Receptionist. Not saying these are the best ones, but Ruby Receptionist is one. There's depending on what city you're in, there's actually people like in like Walnut Creek in the Bay Area. There's what's his name? Victor. Reliable Receptionist. Reliable Receptionist. That's Victor. So Victor his company is Reliable Receptionist. And guess what? You can drive over there to Walnut Creek, and there they are sitting there, answer the phones. Maybe they're at home right now, but normally they're at the office one. So I can go up to them, hey, so you're answering the phone for me, okay? They're like, yeah. So you see how I am. So they go, wow, you talk a lot. I go, I know, but you're very smart and we like you. Okay, cool. So so then but Ruby Receptionist, there's a whole bunch of them out there. But if you schedule a call, I can go through some more. But the main thing is, what I do like is that you can, depending on how they're trained, you can have everything recorded, and then you can give them feedback and stuff like that. You can also, I wouldn't recommend outsourcing in some other country. I like answering it in the United States, especially for law firms.